Hi, everyone. Welcome back to God's Whispers, a place where we take the time to pause and reflect on the word of the Lord. Today I'm going to be speaking about the Gospel according to Mark, chapter 2, verses 1 through 12, where Jesus heals a paralyzed man and forgives him. Let's listen. When Jesus returned to Capernaum after some days, it became known that he was at home. Many gathered together so that there was no longer room for them, even around the door, and he preached the word to them. They came bringing to him a paralytic carried by 4 men. Unable to get near Jesus because of the crowd, they opened up the roof above him. After they had broken through, they let down the mat on which the paralytic was lying. When Jesus saw their faith, he said to them, "Child, your sins are forgiven." Now some of the scribes were sitting there asking themselves, "Why does this man speak that way? He is blaspheming. Who but God alone can forgive sins?" Jesus immediately knew in his mind what they were thinking to themselves. So he said, "Why are you thinking such things in your hearts? Which is easier, to say to the paralytic, 'Your sins are forgiven,' or to say, 'Rise, pick up your mat and walk'? But that you may know that the Son of Man has authority to forgive sins on earth." He said to the paralytic, "I say to you, rise, pick up your mat and go home." He rose, picked up his mat at once, and went away in the sight of everyone. They were all astounded and glorified God, saying, "We have never seen anything like this." For the religious leaders watching, this was shocking. In their understanding, only God can forgive sins. And they're right, which is exactly the point that Mark is making. Jesus knows what they're thinking, and instead of arguing, he asks them the question, which is easier, to say your sins are forgiven or to say rise and walk? And he does both. Jesus heals the man's body to reveal his authority over a deeper need of the human heart. This moment wasn't just about physical healing. It's about restoration, forgiveness, and dignity. The man doesn't walk quietly away. He picks up his mat and walks out in full view of everyone. The crowd is amazed and saying, "We've never seen anything like this before." And that's the invitation of this passage for us too. Jesus sees the whole person. He notices faith, even when it's carried by friends. He meets us not just at the surface of our struggles, but goes down deep. Sometimes the healing that we need the most isn't what we originally came for, but it's always what love provides. In the first century Jewish culture, illness was often connected with sin or brokenness, and Jesus disrupts that thinking. He doesn't shame the man, he restores him publicly. And that's from what I was reading about Mark's gospel. It's consistently showing that Jesus is revealing who he is through action. And notice the man himself never speaks, and his friends' faith open the door. So this story reminds us that faith isn't always loud or dramatic. Sometimes faith looks like persistence. Sometimes it looks like friendship. And sometimes it looks like letting others carry us when we can't move on our own. And sometimes Jesus meets us not where we expect it, but exactly where we need him the most. So journal prompts that will go with this passage would be, where do I feel stuck or unable to move forward right now? And who are the people who have carried me in faith, even when I couldn't ask? And what might Jesus want to heal beneath the surface of my life? And then finally, how can I be the roof breaker for someone else, creating space for healing and hope? I hope that this message was encouraging to you, and if you feel like a friend could use some encouragement, please feel free to pass it along. And don't forget to subscribe so you can continue to hear God's whispers.